Hello, everyone. This is the Red Riot Robot here, coming with a slightly new format. This is something I've kind of come up with to just sort of fill in on the months and get used to being able to edit audio and edit together videos and stuff, because currently I have those skills lacking. Instead of trying to do these sort of big projects that I end up just struggling with. And I think I'll do this every month. It'll just be a little video where I talk about the games I played that month and some of the things I look forward to in the coming month. If it's old games or new games, it doesn't matter. It's just kind of whatever interests me. So for the month of July, the first game that I kind of was finishing up was the original Kingdom Hearts from that big collection that was just released. Kingdom Hearts has kind of a soft spot in my mind. It was the first game I ever beat on my own. I'm glad I replayed this game. I don't think I'll go ahead and do all the gummy missions to platinum this, because that's what they want, and that's not worth it. But I basically did everything else that's just playing as Sora. It is an interesting thing to go back to this game regularly, because you can kind of tell that it was originally supposed to be a platformer, and they stopped wanting it to be a platformer about 2/3 of the way through. And so this game's really weird in the first half. But I still enjoy it. Still had a good time with it. And I'll probably be playing the other games in the future, and you'll be hearing about that in these monthly updates. The second game that I started playing, but I didn't get far, was Red Dead Redemption 2. I played through the tutorial and some of the first chapter missions. I'm replaying the game. That game is still kind of interesting. Like, it's got so many little mechanics and stuff, and I'm finding new things as I was, even though I didn't spend a lot of time with it this time. And in that regard, I'm looking forward to finishing it, but I didn't get too much into it, because the third game I started playing, because the DLC came out, was Elden Ring, and that has absorbed the vast majority of my time this month, and I still really love that game. Even if it has some problems, the open world gets a bit repetitive, you kind of get tired of fighting the same bosses in the dungeons. It still has its moments of just cool factor, whether it's going against Radahn or fighting a dragon out in the open. Everything has its kind of place, and I do enjoy it. I'm looking forward to FromSoft's next game, because they said they're probably not going to do open world games, and I think that's a good idea, because while I like this game, the biggest problem is it's so gigantic that it's sort of intimidating to go through it every time. Because I've put another 100+ hours into this, and I haven't even gotten back to the DLC that was promised, so I should be able to finish that by next month. Well, probably by the time this video comes out, it'll be August. And the fourth game I played, I only played 4 games, was Concord. I played the beta for Concord, and boy, that was rough. That game, I've said on my Twitter and other places in chat, it has a good skeleton. The gunplay and the skills and the maps are all solid, but not amazing, just solid. You know they work, you get the idea of them. Everything else is just a mess. The modes, like the first mode you deal with in this hero shooter is Team Deathmatch and Kill Confirm, which is basically Team Deathmatch 2. And you realize that if you don't have a team that's working together, you're going to get steamrolled. And then if you do have a team that works together, you're going to steamroll them. So it's an uninteresting experience. It's kind of boring. The second modes are King of the Hill and Domination. These were better. They actually used the positive aspects of hero shooters to make an interesting mode. People actually had to work together, but you still had the issue of the team deathmatch, but not as bad. I still think those modes were probably should have been the showcase main thing, but whatever. There was a third set of modes that had no respawn that I never got to play because so few people were playing that mode that I waited 30 minutes in queue to try to get just one match in that, and I never got it. It is, I think that game's dead on arrival. That game's it's got so many problems, and they can't even fix like a quarter of them by next month when it releases. Which, like, the biggest problem is that people will drop out of matches if they see they're losing, and there's no dynamic fill. So if you lose someone in the middle of a match, well, you go from a 5-person team to a 4-person team for the rest of that match, and there's a difference, and you can tell it. It's such a mess of a game. I don't know how they thought this was ready, but it's not. This game's gonna die. Feel bad for some of the people that work on that, but man. Oh, I guess I should say, the characters, some people hate them. I find them broadly disinteresting. There's nothing about them that makes me care about them. I only remember one character's name, and that's Linux, and that's because he really likes hot sauce, and he wants to fuck the ship.
Captain.
Linux, you don't have to.
No. I want to say this. I've been alive a long time, and I have done some pretty awesome things, and some not so awesome things, like that time when Nitka with the spicy fungus, but that's not what this is about. This is about, well, there is no one I would rather traipse across this crazy galaxy with than you. You are the finest starship in the skies. Now,
and that's about it. They've put out, outside of the reveal trailer, they put out 3 cinematics, and those 3 cinematics are fine. They don't give you anything about the characters, though. So I'm always confused in how they plan for these weekly cinematics to build out the characters in interesting ways, because they've not shown the ability to do that in these. That's Concord. That thing's probably going to die, especially with the fact that Marvel Rivals is doing so well in beta. It's got tens of thousands of people in beta, and everyone that talks about it seems to enjoy it, especially on a casual level. And so I might check that out once it comes out. And I think that's it as far as everything I played. What I'm looking forward to most in August, there's not a lot, is probably Black Myth Wukong. I'm kind of interested in this because this is like the first of like a wave of Chinese games coming out, and it'll set the bar on how quality games coming out of China will be. So far it looks really good, but yeah, I want to play it. I want to see it for myself. And that's kind of it. Thanks for coming to this. Like I said, this is going to be kind of like a monthly video where I just put it together. It's minimal. I don't have to get a lot of footage, specific footage, and I don't feel like I have to make everything perfect, and I end up kind of fucking up in that pursuit of perfection. So yeah, have a good day. This is the Red Riot Robot, signing out.